Alrighty then. This is Soul Work, and I'm your host, Jenny Cousins, and we want to thank everyone again for tuning in with us again this evening. Last weekend we weren't on live. I had a lot of emails and phone calls asking us, why weren't we on last week? They had hockey going on, and we won't be on next week either because they are having hockey going. So just to let you know that we are indeed on tonight. And before I introduce tonight's exciting guest, this is my co-host, Miss Kimberly Buckler. And we will be taking calls tonight as well from the viewers right after our commercial break. And what's that number, Kim?
It is 403-539-6710.
She's stalled there. I'm waiting for her to put her home number up. I'm just waiting for it. And I want to introduce tonight, very exciting guest with the drum roll going on here, is Pat Campbell from the Center for Spiritual Living. And thank you, Pat, for coming on. I was really excited that you were on tonight.
Thank you, Jenny. It kind of took us a while to get it together, but once we did, here we are. I'm very happy.
It's like
happy to be here.
To spirit.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Timing was perfect. Somebody told me last week when we got preempted, because I was supposed to be here last week, that you are a true Canadian because you got preempted by hockey. So there you go.
There we go. And see, and also we wouldn't have been interrupted by that man in the bathroom tonight.
Oh.
Hello.
That's a different story.
Yes, it is. Anyways.
Okay. So, Pat, you're a minister?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm the minister for the Calgary Center for Spiritual Living.
Okay, so what brought a native Californian up to Calgary where it's so cold?
Well, that is a story, isn't it? I have been a minister for about 16 years and had been serving the same center in Temecula, California for that whole time. And our whole teaching, Center for Spiritual Living, is about growth. It's about taking risks. It's about doing new things and listening to the call of Spirit. And so when this opportunity presented itself, I very nervously said yes. And I packed up my house and I packed up my 2 cats and we moved to Calgary.
Oh, we are blessed. Thank you.
Absolutely.
It's been an experience, yes, indeed. Yes.
I bet it has, because when I was at the center last year with Dallas, I thought, you know what, you have to come on the show.
Oh,
you must come on the show. You're perfect. You're so good at what you do.
Thank you. Can you imagine making your living doing the things that you love to do and that you are good at, talking to people and joking and telling people what you think about things and that's your job. I mean, what could be better?
I know. You're so good at it.
Thank you.
It just comes out of you so naturally, and it just flows.
Thank you.
You know, you could talk for hours, I bet you, and just
I don't
everything
think people
flows.
would stick around for hours, though. 20, 30 minutes, that's about as good as it gets.
I know.
Yes.
But what was your biggest adjustment coming here?
Oh, I have to say there were 2 things. The weather, of course. I mean, I'm from near San Diego, where it's the perfect temperature all of the time, which is pretty boring. And I came to Calgary, and we've had the flood, and we had the snow-timber, and we had so getting used to being in winter has been a real adjustment to me. And the second thing is I lived in the suburbs before, and now I live in the city, and it's pretty exciting. I mean, it's a different way of being. It's a different way of living, but I'm really enjoying it, liking it a lot.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's really good to have.
You.
That's a big adjustment.
Yes.
I've lived in 3 countries.
Oh, boy.
And so I know what it's like for the adjustment with so many different things.
Yes.
Can you explain to us what is New Thought versus New Age?
Oh, that's a really good question. Thank you. with New Age, it takes on so many of the things that many of us are interested in, things like astrology and psychic readings and crystals and that type of thing. It's kind of putting an energy almost outside of us, whereas New Thought is all about honoring the God or the divine within. And so the way that I explain it, it's the easiest way I can explain it to people, is that we believe in the power of thought. We believe in the power of co-creating our experience.
Yes.
So New Thought means when we have a new thought, we have a new experience.
Yes.
And that's what we teach. That's what I teach, is that there's another way of looking at whatever's going on in your life, and look at it, have a new thought about it, and just watch as your world of experience shifts to reflect that new way of thinking, that new way of being.
Absolutely.
So would sometimes taking action be part of that? So if you have this thought that comes in, and then all of a sudden taking the action you need to...
You absolutely. We have a saying that says that spirit can only do for us what it can do through us.
Okay.
So that means that I can have a new thought, but I've got to be moving my feet. We have another saying that says, treat and move your feet.
Yes.
Do the prayer and then go into action.
Because you can't just sit back and talk about it.
No.
Yeah, actually, I find that when we can set our goals, but we must take the action to start it, and Spirit will work with us.
Absolutely.
Now, you have a book.
Yes. I do.
Can you explain to our viewers about your book? I love the title of it.
Thank you.
I love it. It's Giving God a Good Time.
That's
and
right.
That's perfect.
Well,
perfect.
where this came from is, as I was explaining to Kim, we believe that God, Spirit, is within us, and that I don't use he and I don't use she. I use it because it's an energy. It's not a guy up in the sky. And it is experiencing life through us. And so I believe that the best way that I can honor the divine is by giving it a good time, by giving it experiences that are joyful and happy and prosperous and loving. And so to me, to name a book called Giving God a Good Time is all about that. In it, I talk about jumping out of an airplane and swimming with dolphins and, many of the adventures that I've had, because I believe that I'm giving Spirit, God, that experience while I'm having it.
Yes. So allowing yourself to have fun, allowing yourself to play.
Absolutely.
We
say that we're serious about spirituality, but we're not somber.
No, exactly.
Yes, and just this interview and getting to know one another has been fun. This is God having a good time by means of us.
Oh, it is.
Yes.
It absolutely. What drew you into this line of work? Like, were you younger, like a child, or did you know, or?
No, I had to go through many lifetimes, including making some rather poor choices when I was in my 20s, and after I stopped drinking and stopped playing, messing around, I found a Center for Spiritual Living, and it made sense to me. It was like, oh, this is what I've been looking for all my life, and actually had a psychic tell me I was going to go into ministry.
Oh, really?
I had never considered it before, and I was at a reading, and she said, "You're very spiritual, and you're going to have a singing ministry," because I was a singer. You're going to have a singing ministry, and I went, oh, "You're right." All of a sudden, my life made sense. It's just like everything just lined up, and my life made sense. So, and I started on the path, and I've never looked back. That was in 1990. And I've been on the path ever since.
Yeah, because it just clicks.
Yeah.
I'll do that because I really only have Spirit to talk to. So I'll say, I'm not sure, what to do with this or with that. Please give me a sign or anything.
Yes.
And they do that.
Yes.
It happened the other day. I was asking them, I need a sign for something.
Yes.
And, I had woke up, my dog actually, Nikita, woke me up early that morning and got me up. And then all of a sudden, I just heard Spirit speak. And I thought, you know what? So I went on the computer and I started writing all of this down.
Wow.
So it just flows and it makes sense. and it's all about divine timing with to get certain things going. And you know, I find it just really flows with everything. So let's say, for instance, and I recommend this, Calgary. Like I've been there to the center, and I really like it. And Pat, by far, you're awesome. Like
it's
you're
a happening place.
amazing.
I just have to say, it's a happening
Amy
place.
Bishop, we've had on from the center.
Our music director,
Yes.
she's fabulous.
Yes, I want her back on,
Yes.
you know, with her new CD that's just released.
Yes.
So if someone, let's say, wanted to come see you or anything, what's the best way?
Well, you can go to our website at www.calgarycsl.org. The CSL, of course, stands for Center for Spiritual Living, and it gives you a map. We meet at SAIT in the Orpheus Theater at SAIT, and
Sundays.
On Sundays, service starts at 10:30. And like I said, it's a happening place.
It is.
It's the music's great, the energy is high, it's fun, a great children's program, everything. It's I recommend it too, and I would even if I wasn't the minister there, because it's really a cool place to be.
It's wonderful.
Thank you.
And I want to thank Pat, you know, for coming on.
My pleasure.
And the good news is Pat will be staying the full show, everybody, because we are going to start taking calls after our commercial break, and Pat's going to stay with us. So if you do have calls for Pat and Kim and myself, please give us a call. And what is that number, Kim?
It is 403-539-6710.
And we will be right back after these short messages, Calgary, so hang in there.
Fruits and veggies. They come in all shapes and sizes. And add color and goodness to every meal and snack. So whenever you eat, include fruits and veggies. And mix it up. For information and recipe ideas, visit fruitsandveggies.ca.
Hello, Calgary, and welcome back. And for those of you who are just tuning in, this is Soul Work, and I'm your host, Jenny Cousins, and thanks again for tuning in. And on tonight's show, my guest is Pat Campbell from the Center of Positive Living.
Center for Spiritual Living. It used to be Center for Positive Living,
yes.
And we changed it up a bit.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
And she is indeed staying the full show, Pat.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Fun.
Yes, it's
Woohoo.
absolutely wonderful.
All right, and we do have a caller already. It's Ross. Hello?
Ross.
Ross, are you there?
Hello?
No, maybe.
Did we lose Ross?
Maybe we did.
Okay. Maybe we lost Ross. Give us a call back, Ross.
Yeah.
And
Hello?
Hello? Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, your question for us
And
tonight?
what's your name?
Rosalind or Roz?
Oh,
Okay.
okay. We had Ross, so it's Roz or Rosalind. Okay, there we are. And you have a question for us.
Yes, I recently found out I have a half-brother, and I'm having trouble trying to find him. Do you know if I'm ever going to find him?
Do you know what's his first name?
Yes, I know his first name.
What's his first name? Just the first name.
James.
James?
Yes. Or Jamie.
Jamie, yeah. I would just give it a little bit of time. The worst thing you want to do is force something to happen, because it's all about divine timing whenever we connect with somebody or when we're about to connect with someone, right? We can't force the issue, right? I do believe that you will connect with him. And it's, are you looking down east? Why am I hearing down east?
Yes,
He's down east?
I believe so.
Okay, he is. Yeah, I'm really feeling that. But it's almost like he's busy. He's getting a lot of things done and everything like that. But you will connect with him, right? I feel that within about a year or so, if not even sooner, you're going to connect with him. You might connect with him, like you might find him here. I'm hearing 2. I'm not hearing 2 days though. And whenever you connect with him, it might just kind of, he might be into it, but he might not be into it. So just give it a little bit of time to warm up.
Yeah, and
Perfect.
I do believe there is a registry now that you can contact through the government to find siblings. So that's how my brother found me a few years ago.
Okay, great.
Yeah, but yeah, because you might even find him, just stumble across him, even somehow. Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, but you will.
Wonderful. Thanks so much for your time. Have a good night.
You're welcome, and thanks for
Take care.
calling us. Definitely.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
We do have another caller, Dora. Hello?
Yes.
Hi, how are you tonight?
Oh, good, thank you. How are you?
Good. And your question for us?
Yes, my name is Dorota, and I was wondering if you see me getting a job.
Yeah. One thing you got to be open to is just really explore, right? It's almost like that with your line of work. You're going to be more open if you work one-on-one with someone. There's a woman who you can connect with, like let's say an employment agency. That's it, right? And they can help place you a lot better, right? And you're going to be open. I just feel it's just going to take you a little bit of time to kind of find the right job for you. Like you might very well, let's say, find a job here, but it might not be the right one for you. So it might take you about 2 jobs, let's say, before you find the third one that's really going to fit in properly with you.
You didn't get a call for a job yesterday, did you?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, but just hang in there, right? Again, if we try to force an issue, it's the old thing is, right, everybody thinks come to Alberta, there's always plenty of jobs. There are jobs, but it's not as easy as what people think.
No.
Right?
No, for sure.
Yeah, a lot of people I've talked to, they've sent out over 100 resumes, 150, 200 resumes, and they're still not working. They might have only had maybe 1 interview or heard something back, but that's it. Right? So just...
And I would like ask someone help me get into this job, or...
Yes, go to an employment agency, because I'm seeing another woman helping you.
Okay.
Right? And that's exactly what I mean by the number 3 with 3 jobs, because you will find something, they'll place you something, and you might just not be the right job for you, and then they'll place you into something else, and then it's going to be like, oh, I don't know about this, right? And that's what happens. Sometimes we have to go over our comfort zone, right, in order to find out really who we are, what we like, what we don't like, where we belong. Where we don't belong.
Yeah, and don't underestimate what you can do. So if you apply for a job and they're saying, well, maybe we'll put you in this department instead, and you don't think you can do it, you can do it.
Oh,
so
okay.
don't underestimate what you can do.
What about you, Pat?
Okay.
Any advice for our caller at all?
No, I actually am enjoying listening to the two of you.
All right.
Hang in there. I got a job in Alberta.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's harder when we're not sure exactly what we want to do or where we want to go and what type of environment we want to go in. But just kind of hang in there, but go to employment agency. Right? I think that's what they're called, employment agencies,
yes.
Aren't they? Yeah, because they'll help place you a lot easier.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Thank you very much.
Yes, and then you'll be okay, but just hang in there. It's not going to come to you just like that. It's going to be a little
okay.
ways, 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah,
Oh,
within
perfect.
3 weeks, you very well could start working, right? But you got to get to an employment agency because they could place you into something and you could maybe work there maybe 1 or 2 days and not like it. Don't be hard on yourself. It's just you don't belong there.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And you'll be okay.
Thank you very much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, never giving up, hey?
Oh, that's the thing, is to
Yeah.
have faith.
Faith, yeah.
You know, Spirit's been testing me a lot about faith lately, especially this past year. You know, so I'm to the point now, it's like, you know what? I'm leaving everything up to faith completely. That's, you know, it's like that's all you have left is just the faith to hang in there.
And keep moving, just like what
Yeah.
we
Yes.
talked about
Yes.
earlier, which is have the faith, pay attention to the signs,
Yes.
and then you've got to be in action. You can't
Yes.
sit in your
No.
lotus position and expect things to come
That's
to you.
right. That's right.
And
Yeah.
we do have another caller, Connie. Hello, Connie. Hi, how are you tonight?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good.
Good.
And your question?
I'm just feeling stuck and confused, and I don't know. Things always seem to be the same in my life for like years now.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, will things change and get better for me?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing, of course, too, you know, is we are the ones that have to make that change, right? You know, if we just sit there, you know, even like what Pat said, nothing's going to happen. We're the only ones who have destiny over our own lives to make different changes, right? So whenever we get stuck in that situation, what I always tell people to do is do something that is not in your comfort zone whatsoever. Because sometimes we have to throw ourselves into something completely different than what we're doing in order to see who we truly are, what we want and what we don't want, right? So if you start to make these changes like that, you're going to be surprised. I keep on hearing February, right? That things could really shift for you in February. It's a process that takes a little bit of time. So springtime, you could be in a whole completely April, completely different situation altogether. Right?
With everything, or
It's you know, it depends on your comfort zone. I'm just somebody who can do a complete 360 just like that. I've done it many times, right? Because sometimes we need to shake ourselves up completely. So
Break
it's
the
up
pattern. Is what came to me. Is
Yes.
you're breaking that pattern or that cycle by doing something unusual or different. And have a new thought.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And it
Yes.
could be even changing a room around in your house and totally changing around out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
Yes, it
that
absolutely is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is really, and clearing out the old clutter, you know, releasing the old to bring in the new. What are you doing right now, can I ask? For work?
I'm not working right now.
Okay. Yeah, this is exactly what I mean. So you need to switch up something. Let's say, for instance, if you were a waitress, for an example, right? I wouldn't tell you to go back in to be a waitress because then that pattern is just going to continue. I would say maybe something like, you know, maybe apply to a recreation center, maybe apply for office work, you know, apply for different things that you don't know because you don't know yourself. Right? So we have to figure out who we are and what we truly want. And that's by shaking ourselves up. Right? It's like, you know, anytime for me, if I travel, I normally always travel alone. I always learn something new about myself. Traumas happen. I learn something more new about myself. Something happens that shakes something up. I learn something new about myself. Right? But we have to take those steps to shake things up. So apply for different things that you have no idea. Because that's how you're going to get different ideas and creativity coming in.
Yep.
I was thinking about maybe taking a course to work with kids. I love kids.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that would be something good for me. I always have that fear of failure.
No, don't.
So.
Yeah, let that go because the fear, you know, the word fear alone stunts everything. Right? And we can't move forward with fear because fear stands for false evidence appearing real. And then the illusions come in. And then we're like, I can't do this, I can't do that because the fear holds us back. So again, it's jumping into the deep end and doing something completely.
And picture the goal. Picture your goal. And
Yeah.
I always ask for my highest good, and then I end up having more doors open. So just keep in mind what you like to achieve, and it's there for you.
Yeah.
You just got to take that step and register for that workshop.
Yeah. So the children, the only way you're going to know is to do that, is to take the course and get into it. Because I really feel that you can take the course and start to get into it. And I really feel it's going to take you to another area altogether. right?
Okay, so go ahead and take that course.
I would, because then
Okay.
because sometimes we have to do that. Like I've done that, spend money on something, let's say, you know, to move me further, however way it is, and then after you're like, yeah, I just don't think this is the right thing for me. But the only way I'm going to know that is to do that.
Just to try it, yeah.
Right? And then it's like, okay, you know, you just spent this money and oh my God, you know, like you're not doing what you want. But it's like, I don't look at that, right? I take a negative and turn it into a positive. So it's like, well, if I didn't do that, how am I going to know if, you know, that's what I wanted or I didn't want? Right? So don't be hard on yourself. It's a journey.
Okay,
You know,
so you
and,
feel
and
if I,
yeah, and
you
there's
feel that it's good to take the course and then something else will come along.
yeah, you're going to
kind of
hit some. Yeah,
similar?
it's like, let's say somebody going to university to become a doctor, right? And they're like, okay, I'm going to be a heart surgeon. So they're looking at that, but once they find when they're on that course, like you know, I maybe want to go in to be, you know, a psychologist, or now maybe I want to go in and be like a doctor who delivers babies or something.
So it's like a prerequisite. That first
Yes.
workshop is like a prerequisite for the next thing that comes into play for you.
Yeah.
And the other
Okay,
thing I'm
okay, so I
thinking
will take that.
is that you're feeling called to do it.
Yeah.
And so often, you know, we have intuition within us, and that intuition is calling you to try something that may be a little bit different. And you may like it and you may not like it, but it's calling to you.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the thing. We have to follow our passion, right? And then sometimes we get stuck. Well, what do I do? What do I do? You know, and we always get signs, you know, all of us. It's whether or not we pay attention to it or not. You know, I'll do that. I did that the other day. Spirit, please help me. I need a sign. You know, please give me some clarity with something. And then boom, I woke up and wow, I started to hear these messages and such like that, right? So it's about paying attention to the signs and going with the flow. And if we still don't know, we still have to go with the flow, one step forward, because we never fall.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Jenny, one more thing.
Yes.
So you said in April you kind of see my life changing, like going from a 360?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Springtime, you know, like I said, you know, things are going to shift, you know, and springtime things will be completely different.
And better, right? Better for me?
Yeah, you're going to know more, let's say, of what direction you want to go to, and you're going to be surprised.
Okay.
But you have to take those first steps. That's the only way. That's the only way. It's like we have to take that step, you know, 3 steps backwards in order to take that giant leap forward.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take that course then. And,
Yeah, that's up to you. That is up to you, okay, to take that course. But the only way you're going to know is really look into it and start something, right? Because you are good with working with people. You are an old soul. So you have a lot of natural healing abilities anyways to really help others, children, adults, anybody. You carry that forth, and you're very intuitive, right? So, you know, it's like, yeah, I know I'm not hearing, you know, any messages. Well, that's when you need more alone time. You know, turn off the cell phones, turn off your phones, turn off the TV, this and that, go for a walk, do different things to really, and ask Spirit, please, Spirit, give me a sign. Give me some confirmations here, because things are going to really shift for you. You could even work in an office and do really well. You could do really well at anything that you know, set your mind to, because you're very gifted. You really are.
Follow your heart. Follow your heart.
And your intuition.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
It's balancing the mind with the heart with the intuition.
Yes.
It's you know, the balance. To be self-centered. You know, people say self-centered, and I'm like, no. You have to be centered within, right? So that's why I call self-centered. You first have to be centered within yourself.
Nice.
Right?
I might have to write a talk about that.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Yes, we'll film it. It'll be a lot of fun. But that's the important thing. We have to be centered within. We have to be grounded. You know, we always, you know, we can get off track doing this. We can get off track doing that, right? But it's a journey. It's one day at a time. You know, we all make mistakes. We all, you know, say things or do things that we regret. But, you know, that's life. That's how we learn. Right? Always. Have no regrets. You know, we look back and it's just like, yeah, but this or this. And unfortunately, Connie, I'm getting the wrap up sign already.
Wow, that went
Hey,
fast.
thank you so much,
Yes.
ladies. And you look very nice tonight, Jenny.
Oh, thank you.
You
Thank
look
you.
pretty.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you. Really nice
Thanks.
to hear
Take
that.
care. Have a good night.
Yes, you're welcome. And we want to thank my special guest star here,
My pleasure.
Pat Campbell. It's been absolutely wonderful having you on the show tonight. Absolutely. And I want to thank Kim, of course, and thank everybody who is watching Soul Work tonight. I'm your host, Jenny Cousins. We will be live not next week, but the week after again. Good night, Calgary.
The proceeding was an independently produced community access program. The viewpoints expressed are those of the community access producer and do not reflect those of Shaw Cable Systems. The program is presented in response to CRTC